Biden facing pressures from Democratic donors as he faces a key stage in his reelection campaign. Yahoo Finance's senior columnist Rick Newman joins us here to discuss ahead of what's going to be a big weekend for Biden here. Rick, lay it out for us.
Well, the latest news is that some major Democratic donors are saying they are not going to donate any more money until Biden steps aside. Abigail Disney, one of those people. And some of these donors are setting up separate funding mechanisms for somebody other than Joe Biden. They're not necessarily picking a candidate. They're just saying Biden needs to step aside, and they're putting their money behind that. Abigail Disney's one of them. Mike Novogratz, the crypto billionaire, another one. Reed Hastings is another who are behind this. This just feels like a sinking ship, guys. It's one little development after another. And we're now getting to the point where Democrats are at war with themselves, and that is about as bad a scenario as you can have going into the final months of a presidential election. So Biden still saying, I'm in it to win it. He's going to do this interview today with George Stephanopoulos of ABC. I mean, the whole point of this interview is for Biden to take some tough questioning and be able to demonstrate that he's up to it, that he can explain away his terrible debate performance. But I got to tell you guys, it feels like the air is coming out of the Biden campaign.
Rick, 206,000 jobs created last month. Is this jobs report a good thing for Biden, or at this point, voters can care less? They just want to see him put some sentences together.
Job creation under Biden has been terrific. I mean, Biden says all the time, we've had the most jobs created during my administration in the history of the country, which is true, and it doesn't matter. I mean, he gets no credit for that from voters. People care way more about inflation at this point. Inflation has been coming down, but Biden is losing the narrative here. I mean, when he's now on the defensive constantly about his age. I think I saw another poll that said almost 80% of Americans now think Biden is too old to run. And he's only a couple of years older than Trump, but people don't think that Trump is too old to run. So the jobs report, Biden will be talking about it for sure, but it's just not the thing that voters are paying attention to right now.
Is there anybody else right now who Democrats are looking at and ultimately has enough of an economic standing in order to signal to voters out there who are going to be thinking about issues like inflation, going to be thinking about issues like the broader employment trajectory right now, that could ultimately have that candidate kind of come out on top in any scenario?
Well, if Biden says he's not running, the immediate front runner for the candidacy is Kamala Harris. It would be hers to lose just by virtue of the fact that she's the vice president and her name is on the campaign. Plus, she would easily be able to use all the money that the Biden-Harris campaign has raised. So it would be hers to lose. And my way of thinking about it is she would basically take the handoff of a pretty good economy. And if she played it right, she would not have the baggage of inflation. So, I mean, Republicans have called it Bidenflation. They don't call it Harrisflation. So she would be able to say, hey, we're going to have a fresh start here, and by the way, don't blame me for inflation, the thing that bothers voters the most. So she would get a fresh start. Whether she would, effectively capitalize on that, I have no idea. I don't think anybody knows. But that's the way I would see it developing.
Yahoo Finance columnist Rick Newman. We'll talk to you soon. Appreciate it.
Bye, guys.